welcome to Sunrise Poetry and Music on the Trampoline. Number 25 or 26. Yeah. I have a surprise guest today. Don't tell her. Okay. Put this on pause for a minute. Be right back. Alright. She's not here yet, but I'm going to read a poem for you. And the music in the background is Tony Scott. Music for Zen meditation. Came out like 1971 or something. Growing Down by Shel Silverstein. Mix a grunt and a grumble, a sneer and a frown, and what do you have? Why, old Mr. Brown, the crabbiest man in our whole downtown. We all called him Grow Up Brown. For years, each girl and boy, pup and pup, heard, grow up, oh, grow up. He'd say, why don't you be polite? Why must you shout and fuss and fight? Why can't you keep dirt off your clothes? Why can't you remember to wipe your nose? Why must you always make such noise? Why don't you go pick up your toys? Why do you hate to wash your hands? Why are your shoes all filled with sand? Why must you shout when I'm lying down? Why don't you grow up? Grumped Grow Up Brown. One day we said to Grow Up Brown, hey, why don't you try growing down? Why don't you crawl on your knees? And why don't you try climbing trees? Why don't you bang on tin can drum? Why don't you chew some bubble gum? Why don't you play kick the can? Why don't you not wash your hands? Why don't you join the baseball team? And why don't you jump and yell and scream? Why don't you try skipping stones? And why don't you eat ice cream cones? Why don't you cry when you feel sad? Why don't you cuddle with your dad? Why don't you have weenie roasts? And why don't you believe in ghosts? Why don't you have pillow fights? Why don't you sleep with your teddy at night? Why don't you swing from monkey bars? And why don't you wish on falling stars? Why don't you run in three-legged races? And why don't you make weirdy faces? Why don't you smile, Grow Up Brown? Why don't you try growing down? Then Grow Up Brown, he scrunched and frowned, and scratched his head and walked around. And finally he said with a helpless sound, maybe I will try growing down. So Grow Up Brown began to sing and started doing silly things. He started making weirdy faces and came in first in the three-legged races. All day he swung from monkey bars. All night he'd lie and count the stars on the trampoline, maybe. He tooted horns, he banged on drums. He tooted horns, he banged on drums. He spent $20 on bubble gum. He went to all the weenie roasts, and once he thought he saw a ghost. He got to be great at pillow fights and went to sleep with his teddy at night. He flew a kite, he kicked a can, he rubbed some dirt upon his hand. He drew some pictures, threw some stones, ate 47 ice cream cones. He got some sand between his toes. He got a loose tooth and a bloody nose. He got a dog, then rolled in some mud. He imitated Elmer Fudd. He climbed a roof, though no one asked. He broke his wrist, he wore a cast. He rolled down hills, he climbed up trees, he scuffed his elbows, skinned his knees. He tried to join the baseball team. When they said no, he spit and screamed. He cried when he was feeling sad and went and cuddled with his dad. He wore a hat that didn't fit. He learned just how far he could spit. He learned to wrestle and get tickled. Sucked his thumb and belched and giggled. He got his trousers torn and stained. He ran out barefoot in the rain. Shouted to all the folks in town, "It's so much more fun, this growing down." That is for the love of my life, Trina. Trina made me breakfast this morning. She's a good one. We are both loony as tunes. I didn't say that right, did I? We're just crazy. We've been friends for like 24 years. And we just happened to find each other again. She's really sexy. Now your feet are all over the world.
Oh my.
She would burp me coffee. Anyway, we've got to do one thing. Want to see something that's really trip? Like this. I bet you feel like you're on a roller coaster. All right, it's time for, we're going to have a moment of silence for the lonely, okay? And for Lily. She this dog picks up on every vibe you have. Sometimes she's right underneath your feet, like right now. That's my lady Trina's dog. Don't be looking at that too long, guys. All right. I got distracted, sorry. Could you hold this for me, love?
Mm-hmm.
Moment of silence for the lonely, and for who else should we make this to?
Mm-hmm.
The lonely. And Lily, that's right. Oh. Mm-hmm. Right. For the lonely. So I was in my living room, and I was looking out the window, looking for some music and stuff. And I saw a stink bug on the window, and I felt sorry for it, and went to extra lengths to get this thing out the window safely. And it dawned on me that, in a way, we're all kind of interconnected, It's not, that didn't dawn on me for the very first time, but I don't know. Something about everything. It's all energy, and we're all connected, and so it really hurts me. When I see so much ugliness in the world. Because if you look at it like that, if you're hurting somebody, being mean or flipping them off on the interstate, whatever. Things I'm guilty of. Then you're hurting all of us. If we're all interconnected and we're all just this big mass of energy, right? Everything, the dirt, leaves, the air, my eyeball, everything. So, be kind to each other. It's hard not to be selfish, Anyway, I don't like my poetries to be, my trampolines to be like downers, so anyway, boy, I say that a lot. Anyway, all right. Well, I think we'll sign off here. Oh, I gotta show you the new mushrooms. Man, I have had like 100 different species of mushrooms this year in my yard. And so I'm trying to learn about mushrooms, but I made the mistake of eating some one time. They were yellow, and I'm sure that I got the right ones, maybe. And I ate them, and I felt really funny in my head. And I woke up with like one heck of a hangover, I'm sorry. So anyway, I won't keep you. Anyway, what do you think of her? Let me know. All right. So I think that's about it for today. But please don't forget, never forget to go get it. Go get it. I don't care what it is. If it's something that has to do with your dreams and your ambitions and something that you love, don't wait. Just go get it. Do whatever it takes. Not as long as it doesn't, do anything that is good. Whatever is good that it takes. Love that. All right, love you. Bye. Wait, I'm going to do one more poem for you really quick. Do you have any more, this is kind of fun doing one of these with somebody else. Actually, like a living person. It's these little statues and, it's COVID. They were the only things keeping me company, man. All right, this one. Do you have any requests after? Okay. After the snow melt and after the rain, out of the ground a hand came and drew me a picture. He wrote me a poem and touched my face gently and pointed me home. Wow, I've never read that one. That is really cool. Shel Silverstein. Everything on it. This one? Okay. We have 3 requests today from the lovely Trina. Cinderella. She left the palace, she left the dance, left one of her shoes behind her. I don't know, but at a glance, I don't think I'll try to find her. What? Well, She left the ballad, she left the dance, left one of her shoes behind her. I don't know, but at a glance, I don't think I'll try to find her.
She would have
Oh
been
my
a
God.
giant Cinderella.
Underface. Underneath my outside face, there's a face that none can see. A little less smiley, a little less sure, but a whole lot more like me. Bye. Sunrise poetry and music on the trampoline. Though we didn't have too much music, that is John Scott. No, not John Scott. I just said it a little bit ago. Anyway, I'll edit this part out. Try to, if I can figure out how to do it. Anyway, have a wonderful day. Love you. Mwah.